I am Dragonus, the Dragon Games Works, and welcome back to the second episode of our Cities Skylines playthrough that we've started. So this is the town we started last time. It's starting to grow a little bit. We're currently looking over the residential area at the moment. This whole segment around here is all full of the residents. We sort of go back into the sort of the play mode here. We can see how our city is looking. At the moment, I feel that in terms of growth and in terms of traffic and population, this is really, we've maxed out this area in terms of residency. And I think the next step we need to do is really, we're going to be looking to expand possibly across the water there. But also the other bit I want to do is expand, before I do that, the industrial section down here. And I think that's going to need a little bit of a rework of the way we have the roads coming in up here. So this industrial section is accessed separately to this roundabout. And also we'll probably rework this industrial area as well. A couple of other things I noticed there, that I noticed in the last, on the video last time, was that we were also missing out some water over here. So we'll just quickly fix that problem. And there was also a situation up here somewhere. That was right. So I had these power lines coming across over here. And I suddenly realised that actually we do seem to have a connection to power over here, so we don't actually need these power lines anymore. These ugly power lines are going across there, so we can get rid of them. And we can put some trees back in their place instead, so that that'll look a little bit nicer in this area. And it just makes that place look a little bit prettier. We haven't got all these power lines, ugly power lines, just sitting across the landscape and making it a bit more hideous to look at. So now we can actually just pretty it up. So if we just get back our brush tool there and just fill those in, and we never knew there were power lines there to begin with. That's great. Okay, let's go and have a look at some of the bits over the other side here then. Let's go and have a look at the road here. Okay, so I wanted to hit about 100,000 before we proceeded any further, because I wanted to make sure I got a nice bit of cash around me. So now I'm just going to quickly change these roads over. So I'm thinking we might have motorways coming in all the way over here instead of these roads here. And I was never really happy with the way these two curves looked. Now I've got the Move It mod as well, which I haven't got a lot of experience in. I have used it before previously, but I've had it installed since the last episode, so that if we do need to fine-tune the roads, we can do. But yeah, I need to essentially create a new junction here. Now I want to try and create the junction as far back as possible, because obviously we want the less interference as far away from this roundabout as possible. So if we take out the existing roads a second, it's going to upset all the traffic down here for a minute. And I'm thinking, with the amount of traffic that's been coming in down that way, and the fact that we're going to be moving the industrial traffic away from there, maybe, I'm not sure, probably want a 2-lane highway, I think. So 2-lane highway, and because we've got some residential areas around the back here, I probably am going to take it away from sort of, I want the rounded tool here. We'll want to sort of bring it around like that. That's quite a nice sort of curve there, but we're going to use the sound barriers on that one, just to basically reduce a bit of the noise pollution coming off this area. And then we also want, this road's going to split, so this is going to have to sort of come down this area. Which way am I going to split it is the question. But we also need this to be sort of coming over this way, and it's a little bit better. I'm just trying to make sure that we get a good junction and sort of good curving. See, that's the problem. We put that one there, but if we put it there, what if we come out a little bit more here? Do we get, it's a little bit better, but it's not quite where I was looking for. Let's just put it maybe to that point. We'll have a look at the line here. Sorry, I'm just still trying to establish something that looks a little nicer. And that's actually not too bad, actually. We've got a nice gap between the two, so that looks a bit more even. So it's not going to frustrate me as much as the last one did there. Oh, Fine Road Anarchy. Toggle road bending. I haven't seen that before, so that must be part of the new new updates that have been done to the mod since I last played this game. So we'll get that one adjusted. And then we need to make a junction over here somewhere. I think maybe if we come up like so. Yeah, that'll do quite nicely. And we'll just have it coming over the top here. I was trying to build a bit of a curve coming in, and the more I try and make a curve like that, actually that works. If I put it beside, and then we can have it trying to sort of join up. That's almost like trying to double back on itself. That's weird. Ah, that's a little better. how's that looking? Maybe need a little bit of a fine touch to that one. So we just need to drag that bit around. Yes, I remember how this tool works now. It's just little fine-tune adjustments. That looks quite nice actually now. That's better. So yes, we have a route. If we think about it now, if we go back to our road, we've got a route back on and we've got a route off, and that's going to be the main direction that a lot of the traffic is going to be moving, but we will have some traffic coming in the opposite direction, I imagine, things like workers coming to work and everything else, so we're going to need to have roads going the opposite way as well. Yeah, we need another road coming up over the top there to go the opposite direction as well. So the question is, do we build a bridge that goes over the top of this, or do we build a tunnel that goes underneath and reconnects? A tunnel would be quite nice and neat without having to sort of cross too much other things, so we might go for that. Cool, we can always use the Move It mod again just to neaten it up again. I'll just bring this around here, and then we're going to bring this back up to around about here, and then if we use Move It and go back underground, will it go underground? Yep, there we are. And I want to, oh, that's a tree. I don't want to move the tree, I want to move the road. Right, okay, let's, at this point we're going to bring this around to here, and we're going to delete this segment here and actually delete that there, and we're going to connect it up with this road here so we don't have to move too much of things, but just bring that down to here. Up, wrong tool, and just connect that in quite nicely there, and then likewise this bit here, we'll delete this back as far as we can go, and we'll just I'll keep that element which is already there at the moment. I'll pop this up to here, and then we're just gonna bring this around. Okay, that's gonna connect it a little bit awkwardly because it's just gonna go across the back of that. So I wonder if we can move this. Yeah, we can move this a little bit. Currently he is making for, it's like the wind power down in this area is really heavily dropped. Just move out of the way there. Right, okay. And actually if we delete the road that we had and just rebuild it. There we go, we should have a nice road coming out there. And I was talking about doing a little bit of sort of lane manipulation and stuff like that. So we want to turn this down into 2 lanes here. I think we don't need 3 lanes here, so one of the things we can do, and again I'm going to use sound barriers because we're not far away from the residential area there, it just reduces a bit of the sound there. And we're going to just change those to 2 lanes going that way and 2 lanes that way. I'm really in this direction. I'm not really too bothered about the lane management going this way, the opposite direction. It's just more when it's coming into the town. I think it's going to be more essential for stopping the traffic backing up, and when it's leaving out from the industrial area as well, because it generates an awful lot of traffic. But that's cool. That looks all right. So we need to connect up now this bit down here. So if we just connect that to there, this probably might need to be trimmed back a little bit and then redone. So if we just do that and then, and yeah, I thought it might do that, and then we're going to use the Move It tool just to really straighten this out a little bit. So we're just going to bring that across a little bit there, like so. So it should, we've got little bits of kink deforming in there. Don't want that. There we are. That's better. And then we're going to bring this right the way back, like so. And oh yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of braking in the road, so we want to avoid that. So we're just going to pull that out a bit and just make it so there's a nice sort of flow as the 2 lanes sort of merge to become one over there. And yeah, that looks alright. That's starting to get there. Just possibly, maybe just adjust a little couple of bits here. Maybe make that a little bit more curved. And that out a little bit more. Just all these little fine-tuning bits. Once you start getting into the movement mode, you start like, oh, hang on a minute, we can adjust this bit. Like, and you start seeing bits, you're like, okay, I'm not so happy with the shape on that one, let's adjust that. And as soon as you adjust one bit, you need to adjust another bit to compensate. But that looks alright. The traffic's going to come in here, and then it's all going to merge at this point. And then it'll come on down into the industrial estate over here. So this will be the new entrance to the industrial estate, which means we can avoid using the roundabout for most of it. Or for at least the forested industrial estate. The other industrial estate will remain separated and off the roundabout. It just gives us a bit more space. But that now also means we have a bit more of a flow over here. We can start moving some of the buildings we've got over here. So first of all, let's make sure we've got water coming up around here. And also just keep an eye on our cash flow, because obviously we're not pressing play at the moment because we're pausing it out while we're moving a few things. What I'll do is once I've moved these things, I can extend this industrial area all the way down to the end there as well. So we've got a lot more space. But some of these buildings that we've got here at the beginning, like the main building, for example, are now in the way. They're in the wrong places for what we want. So I just need to relocate it to a more suitable location. So maybe, do we want it on the way out or the way in the industrial building? Never really know what to do with the main building, whether it needs to be on the way in or out. But if we pop that just to here maybe, or around here. No. Yeah, we'll pop it just at the beginning there. And then we're going to move some of these. I mean, some of these could be upgraded to larger ones anyway. We don't necessarily need all of these, but saying that with some of the spaces we got between the roads here, using smaller ones might be more suitable. I figure what else we can actually need to move over there. So we've got this big factory as well. That needs to be actually at the end over here, or at least easily accessible from the end here, rather than having all the traffic for the factory driving into town again and everything else like that. It needs to really be on the outskirts somewhere. I was just wondering if it might be easier to have its own separate road that goes off to it into its own separate location, because it doesn't need to be in the zone itself. That's the great thing of the factory, but I don't really want the traffic that's coming out of the forest estate coming out and around the roundabout to get to just this factory. I want to move this factory. So maybe we'll build its own little area, and then we're going to move that. And we can always add a few little other additional units out here if we wanted to, if we felt there was a need for it. That said, I mean, we could just build that into there. And actually, I don't think we need quite as much road. Maybe we'll just have a little bit like that. There we go. So we have a little bit of a road, one-way system going around there. And maybe we'll build something over here as well, just to sort of even it out about the space a bit. We'll put a bit more trees down in this area as well, just to blend this all in a bit again and just change it back over. But that's moved all our main components over to that side. Then what we need to do is think about how we're going to do these roads down here. So I'm going to de-zone these areas. Now this is probably going to have a big knock-on effect, actually thinking about it, onto my capital. I'm going to take out this because I don't like the dirty polluting industry there, that type. Let's keep it with a nice cleaner forested industry, shall we say. And we're going to delete, I think, the roads sitting this road here, this road here, that one there, that one there. In fact, let's get rid of the buildings around here. Yeah, I know you're not going to be happy with me for doing that, but needed to be done. Where we had that road before, we're just going to connect it over to here. And then over here, we are looking at, we need to bring it all the way from here. So I want to flow the road sort of connecting up to there, but it's going to be a pretty big road. 4,700 to actually build that road. Okay. Right, let's just follow that curve around there like so. And then we just put that down into there, and then we are going to just build ourselves a nice little curve at the end. that will recollect those. And then I'm thinking somewhere along the lines we probably want a couple of turning points, because not all traffic is going to want. If we have just one big one-way system, all the traffic is going to be going to the end and then turning around and coming back, and that's not quite what we want. So what we need, and really could do with the bigger industrial roads actually down in this section, but I've already built it without them. Thinking about it, could have done with the four-way roads, but that's fine. We can work on this one. Is we're just going to build a couple of turning points here. So build one there, so the traffic can just get back around when they need to, and actually just delete out. Sorry guys, just taking you out. Oh, I just wanted to be able to build it coming off there. Trying careful not to get those junctions too close. Maybe use the move it tool. We can make it a little bit of a smoother thing. Let's just yeah, look at that. You can just change that up a little bit like so, and then we've got them coming in and two options, and we could probably do a little bit of lane management around that. That will also make it a bit easier on the traffic coming in and out of there. And maybe we'll want one more on this longer piece down here, so another turning point somewhere around about here. Oh, that was not very well done. That's because I'm using completely the wrong tool. There you go. That's a straight line tool, not a curve tool. I was wondering why it wasn't giving me the right indications then. That's what I was looking for. Cool. So we now have a few turning points along the way, so the trucks are able to get out of the estate quicker without having to go all the way to the very end and then just building up even more horrendous traffic going all the way around the whole section. It's going to be probably busier on traffic at this end, I would imagine. But we shall see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And if we need to make some more additional amendments, we'll make some additional amendments. And one last thing we need to do is get into our bus routes. And yeah, so at the moment the buses are trying to drive in a way that they can't drive anymore. So what we need to do is take this stop here, and we're going to drag that stop over to there, and then we're going to take this stop and we're going to drag it to there. I know there's nothing there for them to drop off to at the moment, but they will in time. Then we've got its route is interesting actually, because it comes along here. I don't know if there's another stop trying to sit in there. I'm trying to keep it on the left hand side, but it seems to have decided it's going to stay on the right hand side for a while and then switch to the left. If we just put in another stop, say there, and the bus is awkwardly sort of travelling along and then sort of cuts in and out of the traffic, like it's trying to, again, the bus is trying to be a race car at the moment. But let's put another one just down here. There we go. And so that should give us two more, a couple more stops in there, and I believe we've got a stop over here as well. And yeah, so we do have one stop over there already, so it will have still an option to stop in this area. Not that we've got a lot going on here, so we may end up removing them there eventually. Maybe we'll do a bit of lane manipulation there as well, just to make sure that they're coming in the right direction using the traffic management mod. And we'll do the same over here to make sure everyone gets into the right lane before they get to the junction. We'll do the same on the main motorway over here. So those would come out onto that one, and these carry straight on. So we have a nice little merge across there. And they should do this naturally over here, but just in case, we just want to bring these guys off onto that side. And if they want to go onto the city itself, they want to go this way. There is a dramatic speed down as soon as they hit this segment. And what I'm thinking is maybe we'll just play with the speed limits a little bit down here, just so that it's not such a drastic hit on there as they come off the motorway. Let's have a look. So the speed limits are in this area. It's 80 and it's dropping straight to a 40. That's quite a heavy drop. So let's have a look. So we put that to a 60. and a 60 down on there, and maybe a 60 there, just on these sections. And then once you get past there, we can slow down a bit, and then we can actually do the 40 miles an hour around the whole rest of the estate. But yeah, it's just so that it's not so drastic a jump from going from 80 straight down to 40. That's a rapid deceleration. It's always a good idea to have some sort of buffer zone. There we go. That was the upgrade we were looking for. Engineered wood plant, soft paper factory, wood chip storage, forestry maintenance building, and a large tree sapling field. That's good. So we have a load more things. So we can now actually expand our industrial area up even more. I mean, these storage facilities can build. Actually, that's something we can put down in these segments. We'll talk about what we could build outside of here, and we could build some storage facilities. So they're quite expensive. Large log yard. The smaller ones there, but maybe we want one there. Can we move that all the way down? Yeah, so put it onto there, and then what we need is one of these. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, pop that there. And let's just have a look. In fact, actually, we don't need the power lines anymore, so hopefully that's killed both power lines. Yes, it has. That's good. So we now have a bit of storage over here as well. It's just outside of the area. And we could probably start actually putting some tree stuff in there. Why that gone red? It was a very bright red. It's almost like it looked like it's set on fire then. I'm just wondering, looking at this, if it would be viable. It might be wrong, but if we could actually... Yes, we could. Just bring this over to about here. And then maybe up onto there. The slope is too steep, it says there for it, but I disagree. It should be able to. What if we build it over there? No. That's a shame. I was hoping. What if we built coming out at an angle then? Yes. Yes, that's what we wanted. Right, okay. So let's just use the Move It mod just to create a bit more semblance of what we're looking for. Just a bit of a curve maybe in there. It's a bit more of a... Let me just move this around. Just separating out the incoming and the outgoing traffic a little bit, so it's not all going on the same road. What I want it to do... Right, this traffic is going the wrong way, it seems. So we now need to upgrade. Right, okay, so we want the traffic going in first. This is going to be a bit of an odd one. We're going to reverse the direction. So the traffic goes out that way instead. And then what we can do... This is bringing all the traffic in as well, but we want to... And I've accidentally done the road above. Let's just put that road back. We've got a couple of sections that are going the wrong way here, so let's go that way. Let's go that way, and that's that. Right, okay, that's cool. And then just want to bring this still down a little bit more. Just adjusting, fine-tuning the roads, that's all. That looks a little bit better. Okay, so we kind of have a reverse roundabout. And just have a look here. That one could probably be reversed as well, just here. So if they need to go around in a natural roundabout, they can. But the idea, the concept is that obviously it's keeping all the traffic on the same side, so they're not crossing over each other. Where I had the two-way road a minute ago coming in here, the traffic was sort of turning from the left hand onto the left-hand lane here and crossing the traffic coming out, and that's what I didn't want. So what I've done is I've changed it so that this is actually kind of doing it in reverse. It's kind of creating a right-hand drive roundabout around the system, but it means when they're coming around this way, they can come out and then back on without actually crossing the lane. And just make the traffic that a little bit better when it's going around that area. go and get some trees. Let's grab that one, and we're gonna just blend it in with these trees up here to begin with. It's like there's almost two species sort of crossing over of trees, and then we can just fill in between the sort of the forestry commission area there. And it all looks like it is part of the forest, and it's all forest work going on. There we are. Cool. That'll do for now. They're all dead around there, but that's because of our landfill site here. So, okay. Still need our incinerator. Oh, we've gone down to 6,000 citizens. We do need that extra 500 citizens. So, with that in mind, what we'll do is we'll build a bit more over here. I did say I wanted to try and minimize how much more residential we built, but we do really kind of need some residential down this area as well. Put something there like that, and then we want to build a path connecting the two. So, as I was saying earlier, we want to build a footpath connecting these two residential areas. Well, the residential area and the industrial area. So bring that over to here. So now they have a nice little footpath here. Actually, maybe just adjust it out. That looks good. That's better. So now they got two little bits in there. Maybe we'll have a third one as well in the middle here. Give them lots of different options to walk. If we just bring that out to there. Those two are sort of disconnected from each other. So let's connect that up. And we can use the move it tool then just to curve it a little bit. There we are. That's nice. Maybe we'll just situate it there. Yeah, people are so happy to have like a graveyard built by their house. It cheers them all up. That makes no sense. Right, okay. So let's pop some more housing down here. Population up to 6,373. Oh, we're crawling by. We are so close. And that's up to 87%. I don't want to have to build another landfill site. I do want to put an incinerator down before that happens. Let's speed this up a bit. But we have hit level 5, so that's good. Oh, and we've just expanded to the big town. Excellent. It's 6,500. So we have access to the incinerator plant, which is the bit that I was trying to get to. We also got metro available, which is also cool for our expansion, and we also have access to the high density stuff. So our next expansion is probably going to be a touristy area. So once we've got this industrial area here finished, I want to get this segment all nice and working and producing as much money as possible. And while this is then sustaining us, we can use that to develop our next section. And again, one of the mods we've got in here is we've got some additional metro station setups as well, so that's going to be quite handy. But universities there as well. But have we actually opened up the normal university thing? Got a whole load of new policies, new services. Got campus areas. Yes, we do actually have the universities opened up, so that's cool. Awesome. Right, okay, so with that note, let's get our rubbish sites sorted out. So we're going to need some incinerators, or we're going to need a incinerator. So over to rubbish. There's our incinerator. How many we've got? Well, we've got one is 30,000, so we've got 89,000. So we can easily afford it. And we'll pop it. Actually, I want to move some of this stuff around as well. So we're going to move this down to here, and that's processing quite a bit actually on a weekly basis. And we want to get the incinerator and pop the incinerator next door to it there. And what we want to do is actually tell this one to start emptying. It's got multiple problems. What's the other problem? It's got building set to empty, and there's no more room. Well, yeah, we know that. But we are going to empty it all out into the incinerator. Then we'll empty that one into the incinerator, and then we'll just run our city off the incinerators instead when it comes to rubbish. So let's speed that up a second. We may need a second incinerator, but we'll see how it goes. Just wherever there is now a little bit of free space, just turn it into an industrial zone. That's just going to give us a bit more cash injection into there. It's going to put our industrial demand up a little bit more, but that's okay. That's okay. Our residential demand, I mean, sorry, not my industrial demand, because that's what we're fulfilling, is industrial demand. There we have that bit there, that into there, that in there. Oh, we're starting to get a nice bit of painting across there. And this is starting to come together nicely now. We'll start to see this starting to develop up. This area is now just like essentially a big racetrack for garbage trucks, I feel. I'm not going to expand any further because we're already filling up the amount of workers that are needed. Just put some trees around here just to make this all blend in quite nicely. That's built us up quite nicely. So I'm going to end this episode there. We have done some adjustments. We have changed some things. I think that is looking quite nicely here. So we haven't done a lot on the residential side. But what we have done is we have redesigned where our industrial estate is going to. I got a feeling this is going to get quite busy. We have got space for a little bit more industrial here when the demand comes through. But at the moment the demand's not there and we're just not getting enough buyers and workers into the place now. So yeah, not enough workers and also not enough buyers or not enough raw materials or something like that. Yeah, not enough buyers for the products. That's weird because they're asking for the materials. So yeah. But yeah, we will work through all of that and get that all sent over. When these empty out, we can demolish these and hopefully this area will start becoming a little bit greener. We also need to build another power plant as well, so that's going to be another option. In fact, actually, if I just quickly flick forward very quickly in time, and with the magic of editing, we are able to fast forward to the point where both our landfill sites have emptied to 0. So that now means we can now demolish the second one. I've already demolished the first one. And also I've added some extra incinerators and recycling plants up there. And I moved them all up to here. So we've got a lot more being built over here. And I realised I don't need to actually build the second power plant because I actually have these incinerators doing a lot here and giving us a bit more energy while they're burning rubbish. So for the time being, we don't need it. But should we need it, we'll build it there. I'm thinking in the long run, I will probably move the incinerators and recycling plant to a different facility elsewhere in the city once we start expanding a bit more. We'll probably keep some of our power plants in this area, some of our green running power plants, so things like the geothermal works quite nicely here, maybe some solar plants and stuff as well. They'll sit down there quite nicely as well in this area, so we can try and minimise the amount of pollution that's in this area and then maybe move our polluting industries elsewhere. Something else I just noticed quickly is that one of our pipelines over here isn't an eco pipeline, so we are spilling far more sewage into the water than necessary, and I'm going to need to look up on how to reduce the amount of pollution these sort of the sewage outlets produce. Because I'm looking at this and you can see the amount of pollution coming up around the outside of here, and I'm thinking I want this area to become like a tourist area, but if we've got all this sewage coming out the side here, that's not going to be very nice on the tourism. And also in addition to that, I want to start some fishing industries in this sort of general area as well. So what I want to do next time, as we're coming towards the end here, is I want to expand into this bit. So we'll purchase that now because it's only 3,200, and that opens up that area, and we will start expanding into this area next time. We'll probably build some more housing because housing is in massive demand at the moment, so much so that it's causing a knock-on effect to our industry area over here, but we'll also build a load of commercial tourism over here as well. So we'll look at building a sort of residential and commercial area in this area, I think, in the next episode, and we'll start expanding into that. And we've also built up, while we're waiting for those landfill sites to enter, we've built up about $300,000, so we've got a nice bit of chunk of cash to go into building that with as well in the next episode. So that's all sits together quite nicely. But for the time being, I'm going to leave you on a drive around the new forested industrial area, and we'll catch you again next time. Take care all. Bye bye.